Sports Live with the weekly college basketball live stream. This live stream was supposed to start at 2 o'clock. I apologize for the delays. I had some technical difficulties, but I got those worked out. I do appreciate you joining me on Sports Live Media today. We're going to be doing things a little different since the college conference basketball championship tournaments are starting this week with women's action. Before we get into that, let's go over the Associated Press poll for the top 25 for the women's basketball and for the men's basketball. In the women's basketball, starting off with number 1, Texas. Number 2, USC. Number 3, UConn. Number 4, the University of California in Los Angeles, or UCLA. Number 5, South Carolina. Number 6, Notre Dame. Number 7, North Carolina State. Number 8, TCU. Number 9, LSU. Number 10, Oklahoma. Number 11, Duke. Number 12, Kentucky. Number 13, Ohio State. Number 14, North Carolina. Number 15, Maryland. Number 16, West Virginia. Number 17, Baylor. Number 18, Tennessee. Number 19, Alabama. Number 20, Kansas State. Number 21, Oklahoma State. Number 22, Florida State. Number 23, Creighton. Number 24, Michigan State. Number 25, South Dakota State. For college basketball, AP poll top 25 for the men. You have number 1, Auburn. Number 2, Duke. Number 3, Houston. Number 4, Tennessee. Number 5, Florida. Number 6, St. John's. Number 7, Alabama. Number 8, Michigan State. Number 9, Texas Tech. Number 10, Iowa State. Number 11, Clemson. Number 12, Wisconsin. Number 13, Maryland. Number 14, Louisville. Number 15, Missouri. Number 16, Memphis. Number 17, Michigan. Number 18, Purdue. Number 19, Kentucky. Number 20, Marquette. Number 21, St. Mary's. Number 22, Texas A&M. Number 23, Brigham Young University or BYU. Number 24, Arizona. Number 25, Mississippi State. So what we're going to do right now, we're going to do things differently and stuff. I got some more information to go over with you. Over the course of the basketball season, we have been making picks for who we think will win the top 25 matchups between the women and the men. So last week, we had 3 women's games that we made predictions for, and we had 3 wins and 0 losses. Last week in the men, we had 15 games total, and we went 12 wins and 3 losses. So now that we're in the conference tournament championship stuff, this live stream will be taking a slightly different turn than usual, but I'll explain that in just a moment. For the time that we did these picks, starting in January until last week, in the women's games, we made predictions for 28 games, and we had 24 wins and 4 losses. In the men's action, we had 124 games that we picked, and we had 61 wins and 43 losses for the whole season. So now we're in the conference tournament stuff, and we're going to literally go over a couple of brackets today. The Women's Southeastern Conference Basketball Tournament will be going on March 5th through 9th in Greenville, South Carolina at the Bon Secours Wellness Arena. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to tell you when the games are going to be, and then we'll start making our bracket picks, and we're going to do this for the Southeastern Conference, and we're going to do this for the ACC Conference. The ACC Conference also takes place for the women from March 5th through March 9th. And that will be at the First Horizon Coliseum for the ACC tournament. Let's look at the Southeastern Conference tournament and see who's playing when. On this, you have on March 5th for the women, you'll have number 6. Don't worry about the seeding, but I'll go ahead and tell you what they are. Number 16 is Texas A&M versus number 9, Tennessee. Number 13, Arkansas will play number 12, Georgia. Number 15, Missouri versus 10, Mississippi State. Number 14, Auburn will play number 11, Florida, and that will be on March 5th. On March 6th, we have the winner of Texas A&M and Tennessee playing number 8, Vanderbilt. You'll have the winner of Arkansas and Georgia playing number 5, Oklahoma. You'll have the winner of Missouri versus Mississippi State playing Ole Miss. And you'll have the winner of Auburn versus Florida that will play number 6, Alabama. In that game, let's see, on March 7th, you'll have the winner of Texas A&M or Tennessee who plays Vanderbilt. That winner will play South Carolina. For Kentucky, they will play basically you'll have Arkansas and Georgia. They will play, the winner of that game will play Oklahoma, and then the winner of that game will play number 4, Kentucky. You'll have number 15, Missouri, playing number 10, Mississippi State. That winner will play Ole Miss, and the winner of that game will play number 2, Texas. You'll have number 14, Auburn, playing Florida. The winner of that game will play Alabama, and then the winner of that game will play LSU. After that, you will have the semifinals, which take place on March 8th. You have 2 semifinal games on March 8th, and then you'll have the championship game, which will be on March 9th. That is for the Southeastern Conference. Now, let's make the picks for the Southeastern Conference. We will do this one game at a time, and in the chat, we need you to make a pick on who you think is going to win the game, and we'll write it down on the bracket, and then we'll review the bracket after we're done. Once we do this for the Southeastern Conference, we'll do the same process for the ACC. So here we go. First game. And the thing is, these numbers are not what they're nationally ranked. This is just what they were seeded according to how they ranked and performed within the actual Southeastern Conference in the games they played. So these numbers are not the national rankings. This is just what they're seeded for the tournament that we're talking about. So the first game we're going to look at, Texas A&M or Tennessee. Texas A&M or Tennessee, who do you have winning that game? Okay, I have 1 vote for Texas A&M. I have 2 votes for Texas A&M. Anybody else want to vote on that game? And one thing, it does not matter if you know anything about the game or not. You can just cast your votes, and whichever team gets the most votes, that's who we will go with, and it doesn't matter if you know anything about them or not. Right now, I have 2 votes for Texas A&M and 1 vote for Tennessee. Any other votes want to come in? Okay, I still have 1 vote for Tennessee. Okay, so we have 2 votes for Texas A&M and 1 vote for Tennessee. So in this circumstance, the majority rules on that one. So we will go Texas A&M on this one. Texas A&M, it is. And I'm going to write this down so we can have it. We'll go through each round, and then we'll do the matchups like that. So the next game we're going to look at, Arkansas or Georgia? Arkansas or Georgia? Who do y'all have? Arkansas or Georgia? That's the one we're looking at right now. What say you on YouTube? Okay, it looks like I have 3 votes for Georgia. So we are going to go Georgia. Unless anybody else has anything else they want to add. All right, it looks like we do not. So next game we're going to do Missouri or Mississippi State. Missouri or Mississippi State. Who do you have? Missouri or Mississippi State? And just cast your vote by writing what you think is who's going to win in the chat. I have 1 vote for Missouri. Anybody else? I have 2 votes for Missouri. I have 3 votes for Missouri. So we're going to go Missouri. All right, next game we have is, now keep in mind this is women's basketball. So, yeah. Anyway, next one. Auburn or Florida? Who do you have? Auburn or Florida? What say you on YouTube? Auburn or Florida? I have one vote for Auburn. I have one vote for Florida. And I get to cast a tie-breaking vote. And I think on this particular game, I think Florida is better than Auburn. So we're going to go Florida. Okay, I think I messed up somewhere. Yes, I did. I did mess up somewhere. Okay, we're gonna do Florida. Okay, I messed up somewhere, so I apologize for that. Basically, I read the wrong bracket wrong. So what we've got so far, and this is my fault, but we're just going to continue with it with the fixes. For the second round, we have Texas A&M or Vanderbilt. Texas A&M or Vanderbilt. Who do y'all have on that game? Okay, I have one vote for Florida. Oh, wait, we're not talking about that. We're doing Texas A&M or Vanderbilt. And I have one vote for Vandy. Texas A&M or Vanderbilt. Okay. I have 2 votes for Vanderbilt and 1 for Texas A&M. So in that game, we are going Vanderbilt. All right, next game, Georgia or Oklahoma? Georgia or Oklahoma? Who do y'all have? Georgia or Oklahoma? Okay, I have one vote for Oklahoma in the game versus Georgia. Oklahoma or Georgia? What say you on YouTube? I have 2 votes for Oklahoma right now. And I have 1 vote for Georgia. The majority rules. Oklahoma it is. Wait a minute, wrong place. Okay, we have the mess up I made, and I apologize for that, but we'll just go with it. It's going to be Missouri or Mississippi State. Missouri or Mississippi State. I know it says Florida, I marked that out, but it's Missouri or Mississippi State. I have 1 for Missouri. 1 vote for Missouri. 2 votes for Missouri, 3 votes for Missouri. We have Missouri going forward in that one. All right. Next game we have will be Florida versus Alabama. Florida versus Alabama. Who do y'all have? And again, I apologize for the mess up, but we got it fixed and we're going with it. So Florida or Alabama, who do y'all have? Florida or Alabama? I have 2 votes for Alabama, and I have 3 votes for Alabama. Alabama it is. All right. Next game we have is Vanderbilt or South Carolina. And keep in mind, this is women's basketball. Vanderbilt or South Carolina. Who do y'all have? Vanderbilt or South Carolina? Okay, I have 3 votes for South Carolina, so that's who we're going to go with. All right, next game we have is Oklahoma versus Kentucky. Oklahoma versus Kentucky. Who do y'all have? Okay, I have 1 vote for Kentucky. I have 2 votes for Kentucky. I have 3 votes for Kentucky. So Kentucky is next on that one. Okay. Next game is going to be Missouri versus Texas. Missouri or Texas? Who do y'all have? Missouri or Missouri or Texas? Who do y'all have? I have one vote for Missouri. I have one vote for Texas. In this situation, I'm going to have to be the one to break the tie. I'm going Texas. So we have Texas in that game. All right, next game we have, it will be Alabama versus LSU. Alabama or LSU? Alabama or LSU? What do you say in YouTube land? I have one vote for LSU. I have one vote for Alabama. And, you know, I'm going to break the tie, and I'm going to be the monkey wrench. We're going Alabama, so I get to break the tie with that one. Alabama it is. All right, we're now in the semifinals. And who do we have going to the championship game from South Carolina or Kentucky? South Carolina or Kentucky, who do you have? I have one vote for Kentucky. I have one vote for South Carolina, and I'm waiting on one more to break the tie. South Carolina or Kentucky? Okay, it looks like there's a tie here, unless I get another vote. Okay, we got 2 votes for South Carolina and 1 vote for Kentucky. So for that part of the championship, we've got South Carolina. All right. Next game, Texas or Alabama? Texas or Alabama, who do you have? Texas or Alabama? I have 1 vote for Texas, 1 vote for Alabama, and in this situation, I have to break the tie because I have not cast my vote yet, and we're going Texas. We're going to go Texas. All right, so for the conference championship game, for the women's conference championship, we have South Carolina versus Texas. So now the question becomes, who do you have winning the Southeastern Conference Women's Basketball Championship? South Carolina or Texas? Who do you have? South Carolina or Texas? Okay, I have 1 vote for Texas. I have 1 vote for South Carolina. And I have 2 votes for South Carolina. All right, so our conference champion for the women will be South Carolina. Now, before moving on to the ACC conference to do the same thing, we'll just review. In the Texas A&M versus Tennessee game, we have Texas beating them. We have Texas A&M beating Tennessee. We have Georgia beating Arkansas. We have We have Missouri beating Mississippi State. We have Florida. We have Auburn. We have Florida beating Auburn. Now, in the Florida-Alabama game, we have Alabama beating Florida. We have Missouri beating Mississippi State. We have Oklahoma beating Georgia. We have Vanderbilt beating Texas A&M. In Vanderbilt versus South Carolina, we have South Carolina defeating Vanderbilt. In the Oklahoma-Kentucky game, we have Kentucky beating Oklahoma. In the Missouri-Texas game, we have Texas beating Missouri. In the Alabama-LSU game, we have Alabama beating LSU. In the South Carolina-Kentucky game, we have South Carolina beating Kentucky. In the Texas-Alabama game, we have Texas defeating Alabama. And then for the conference championship between South Carolina and Texas, we have South Carolina defeating Texas. So when this tournament is over, I will review with you. I will do another video, maybe, determining who has won the Southeastern Conference Championship. It might not be a live stream, but it will be an update on who wins that. So moving on now to the ACC tournament, the Atlantic Coastal Conference tournament. The format's pretty much going to be the same. First round games will be March 5th. Second round games will be March 6th. Quarterfinals March 7th. Semifinals March 8th. And the championship game will be March 9th. In the first round, which will be March 5th, first game we're going to look at, Boston College or Syracuse? Who do you have? Oh, and the seeding is pretty much the same. It's based on where each team within the conference was ranked based on their performance within their conference during the regular season. So these numbers are not national ranking numbers. These are just where they're seeded or placed in the tournament for the purposes of the tournament. So with that being said, Boston College or Syracuse? And I have one vote for Boston College. I have one vote for Syracuse, and I have 2 votes for Boston College. So Boston College over Syracuse. All right, next game. Virginia or Pittsburgh? Pittsburgh is commonly called Pitt, but it is going to be Virginia or Pittsburgh. Who do you have? Virginia or Pittsburgh? Okay, I have one vote for Pittsburgh. I have 2 votes for Pittsburgh. What do we have for... Do we have anybody else that wants to vote for Virginia or Pittsburgh? Okay. We have 2 votes for Virginia. For Pittsburgh. Going once, going twice, and Pittsburgh is who we're going with. All right, next game we're going to look at is going to be Stanford versus Clemson. Stanford versus Clemson. That's who we're looking at now. This one right here on the very bottom. Stanford or Clemson, who do you have? Stanford or Clemson? What say you in YouTube land? Stanford or Pittsburgh? Or Clemson, rather. I have one vote for Stanford. I'm not sure on this one yet, so... Okay, I have one vote for Stanford, one vote for Clemson. Let's see, what do I vote? Because I haven't cast my vote yet. I'm going to go Stanford. So, we got Stanford. Alright. Next game will be starting the second round. You have North Carolina or Boston College. North Carolina or Boston College, who do you have? North Carolina or Boston College? Okay, I have one vote for North Carolina. I have 2 votes for North Carolina. I have 3 votes for North Carolina. That was a unanimous vote, so we won't have to worry about it. North Carolina advances. All right, next game we've got is Virginia Tech or Georgia Tech. The Battle of the Techs. Virginia Tech or Georgia Tech? Who do you have? What say you on YouTube? Virginia Tech or Georgia Tech? Okay, I have 1 vote for Georgia Tech. I have 2 votes for Georgia Tech, and I have 1 vote for Virginia Tech, which is mine. So, majority rules on that one, so we will go Georgia Tech for that game. All right, next game we have is California or Pittsburgh. California or Pittsburgh. Who do you have in YouTube land? California or Pittsburgh? What say y'all in YouTube land? I have one vote for Pittsburgh, one vote for California, and I think on this one I'm going to break the tie by going with California. So California is who we've got on that one. All right, next game we have is going to be Louisville versus Stanford. Louisville or Stanford, who do you have? This one right here is the game we've got right now. Louisville or Stanford? What say? Okay, I have one vote for Louisville, one vote for Stanford, and you got 2 votes for Louisville. So Louisville is who we have on that particular game. All right, now we're in the quarterfinals. In the quarterfinal matchup, you have Florida State or North Carolina. Florida State or North Carolina, who do you have winning that one? Florida State, North Carolina, who do you have? Okay, I have one vote for North Carolina, one vote for Florida. Which one do I want to go with? I haven't cast my vote yet. I'm going to go Florida State. We're going to go Florida State on that one because I got to cast that vote. All right, next one. This could be a little tough for everyone, but North Carolina State, or commonly called NC State, or Georgia Tech. NC State or Georgia Tech, who do you have? NC State or Georgia Tech? I have one vote for NC State. I have 2 votes for NC State, and I have 1 vote for Georgia Tech. So NC State is who we have on that one. All right, next game. Notre Dame versus California. Notre Dame or California? Who do we have? Notre Dame or California? I have 1 vote for Notre Dame. I have 2 votes for Notre Dame. Anybody else? And I have 3 votes for Notre Dame, so Notre Dame it is. All right, next game. Duke or Louisville? Duke or Louisville? And keep in mind, this is women's basketball. Duke or Louisville? Who do we have? I have 1 vote for Louisville. I have 2 votes for Duke. So Duke is who we will go with. All right, next game. We are in the semifinals now. We have Florida State or NC State. Florida State or NC State. Florida State or NC State, I have 1 vote for NC State. I have 1 vote for Florida State. And you know what? I'm going Florida State. I know that might not be the right idea, but I'm going Florida State. I just feel it. All right, next game will be Notre Dame or Duke. This one right here. Notre Dame or Duke. Who do we have? Notre Dame or Duke? Okay, I have 1 vote for Notre Dame. I have 2 votes, and I have 3 votes for Notre Dame. So, Notre Dame it is. Now, we are in the conference championship game for the women's basketball, and it's going to be Florida State or Notre Dame. Who do we have? Florida State or Notre Dame? Just because you picked Notre Dame or Florida State in a previous vote, you have to say it again for which one you want on this game. I have 1 vote for Florida State. I have 2 votes for Notre Dame. So Notre Dame is who we have for the ACC championship. And let's review real quick, okay? So, in the game Boston College versus Syracuse, we went Boston College. In the game Virginia versus Pittsburgh, we went Pittsburgh. In the game Stanford versus Clemson, we went Stanford. In the Stanford-Louisville game, we went Louisville. In the California-Pittsburgh game, we went California. In the Virginia Tech-Georgia Tech game, we went Georgia Tech. In the North Carolina-Boston College game, we went North Carolina. In the Florida State-North Carolina game, we went Florida State. In the NC State versus Georgia Tech game, we went NC State. The Notre Dame-California game, we went Notre Dame. For Duke and Louisville, we went for Duke. In the Florida State-NC State game, we went Florida State. In the Notre Dame-Duke game, we went Notre Dame. And for the conference championship for the ACC, we went Florida State. No, we did not go Florida State. We went 3 votes to 0 unanimously and have Notre Dame winning the conference championship for the ACC. So, real quickly, let's kind of review real quick. I lost my list and I had to go get it, so that's why you see me moving around and whatnot. But we've just gone over who we think is going to make it through the games for the Southeastern Conference, and we've done the same thing with the Atlantic Coastal Conference or the ACC for the women's basketball conference tournament championship, which that tournament for both of those conferences will be March 5th through March 9th. So with that, let's review one last time who is in the Associated Press top 25 polls this week for the men and for the women. Number 1, Texas. Number 2, USC. Number 3, UConn. Number 4, UCLA. Number 5, South Carolina. Number 6, Notre Dame. Number 7, North Carolina State. Number 8, TCU. Number 9, LSU. Number 10, Oklahoma. Number 11, Duke. Number 12, Kentucky. Number 13, Ohio State. Number 14, North Carolina. Number 15, Maryland. Number 16, West Virginia. Number 17, Baylor. Number 18, Tennessee. Number 19, Alabama. Number 20, Kansas State. Number 21, Oklahoma State. Number 22, Florida State. Number 23, Creighton. Number 24, Michigan State. Number 25, South Dakota State. In the men, AP poll top 25 this week. You have number 1, Auburn. Number 2, Duke. Number 3, Houston. Number 4, Tennessee. Number 5, Florida. Number 6, St. John's. Number 7, Alabama. Number 8, Michigan State. Number 9, Texas Tech. Number 10, Iowa State. Number 11, Clemson. Number 12, Wisconsin. Number 13, Maryland. Number 14, Louisville. Number 15, Missouri. Number 16, Memphis. Number 17, Michigan. Number 18, Purdue. Number 19, Kentucky. Number 20, Marquette. Number 21, St. Mary's. Number 22, Texas A&M. Number 23, Brigham Young University or BYU. Number 24, Arizona. And number 25, Mississippi State. So, going forward, we are changing the format a little bit, as you've noticed, regarding how we're doing our picks each week for college basketball. Next week, we will do the same thing with the men for the Southeastern Conference Championships and the Atlantic Coastal Conference Championships. Once these games are over, I will do a video basically updating how we did on this. It will not be a live stream that will go over how we did during the conference tournament championships. After that, we will wait for Selection Sunday, and once that occurs, then we'll have another live stream regarding the NCAA Division I National Championship Tournament for the men and the women, and we will also do the NIT tournament, which is your next 32 teams, and we'll try to do that for the women and for the men as well. So that's what's up and coming in those live streams regarding college basketball. There may be other live streams that come up regarding other stuff that comes up, but when that comes up, I'll let you know. So anyway, any thoughts or comments regarding our bracket picks? And I know it's windy, and I'm sorry about the noise, but it is what it is. It's windy, and it's nice out today. So any questions, comments regarding who we made picks on? Well, if not, I do thank you for joining me for this live stream, this live broadcast today, March 4th of 2025. If you will, please hit the like button. Please hit the subscribe button. Please hit the notification bell so you can be made aware of when we do these live streams, when I have sports action videos, when I have sports education videos, again, when I broadcast live, or when I have breaking news in the sports world. If you wish to subscribe, there are a couple ways you can do it. One, you go to the YouTube channel, go to www.youtube.com, the slash symbol, the at symbol, SPORTSLOV. You'll know it's me because I have Sports Live Media burned into a basketball as my avatar. And you'll find that same thing that happens when you go to the YouTube search tab and type in Bob Amin. That would be BOBAMIN, and you can type that in the YouTube search tab, and you can find me there. I'm also on Twitter X. My handle is at BobAmin16. That handle, again, is the at symbol, BOBAMIN16. Thank you again for joining me today for this live broadcast for college basketball bracket picking. Again, we will resume that next week. Next week will also be the last week that we will do the AP poll prior to, because after that, it really will not matter much because they will rank the national tournaments accordingly after that. So anyway, thank you again for joining me. Hope to see you with the next one. I'm Bob Amin, signing off. Thank you and have a wonderful day.